morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Twitch chat, and welcome back to Let Us Play. I'm your host, Father Evan. It's good to be back with y'all today. I hope everyone's having a good day. Where am I? What am I doing? Who is it? Going to a movie in the middle of the workday kind of threw me off. I had a lot of fun going to this movie. I can't tell you what movie it is, though, not until next week. It's also a long movie, almost 3 hours. So, you know, that's a lot. Turn that music down just a wee bit more. There we go. But Catholic Brit, congratulations on your crown of firstendom on this, the day of going live at Strange Times. It's also good to see you, Brayherd. Good to see you, Beer Fox. Hope everyone's doing well, having a good day. I was supposed to do Spirit Fair today. Gonna do Minecraft instead. Not gonna be able to stick around for the full 2 hours. Just because life and times and things happen and, you know, wanna go to dinner tonight. But we'll do almost 2-ish hours in Minecraft. So let me go ahead get that set up here. Hey, Artemithril, good to see ya. Go ahead. Let's dive in. Work happens. Work does happen, and today work happened to be going to a movie. Gotta tell you, it's a lot of fun getting to go to a movie preview. Okay, so anyway, we were working on this modernist house. Definitely more lurking today in the middle of 2 articles. May the writing go well. This is so not going to be enough quartz, but... Also, it feels good to be back in my own server. That is some shiny concrete. It's quartz. Unless you mean the gray stuff on the lower level. That is concrete. Overall, I like this visual pack the most out of the ones I've tested, but it does make things shiny. So I know I was supposed to do Spirit Fair today, but we'll return to that tomorrow. Forgot how big windows are. That's right, it's 787. Right? Because this one should be 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 787. So obviously this side's going to be a bit of an exception, but... So that should be the 7, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So block goes there. So this should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, perfect. And, ooh, I almost fell in that hole. Those directions will just be one big long window. Okay, perfect. And just keep the aesthetic up with the other door. Because, yeah, it should look like that. Is that right? Oh, no, the window should be 3 high, so that's too short. There you go, that's more of what it'll look like. In fact, I could probably finish the windows right now. Just ow. I like how that's coming together. Oh, because I was all discombobulated, I forgot to mention a thank you to a new follower, Lil Cheesy05. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the channel. I feel like I have many cheese followers recently, and I'm totally okay with this. Is this Cheese Thief's influence? Only you can decide. That's what I thought. So this lower level's done in oak. Hey Mezok, man, good to see you. We are working on a modernist Frank Lloyd Wright-esque style house with a great view of the church. Throwing a prayer request out. Live imposter syndrome hitting you. Oh, I'm sorry. That is, oof. Prayers for you indeed in the midst of that. Prayers of peace, health, and knowing of all the wonderful gifts you have and share. You feel that imposter syndrome? Is it imposter syndrome to feel imposter syndrome? I say this is a joke. I guess having imposter syndrome around imposter syndrome would make you feel like you don't know if you actually have imposter syndrome. And that sounds horrifying. not a game I just told you you're doing. That is the worst. That is so real, though. I got exceeds expectation on your review, and you're still like, why do you think I'm a good hire? Oh. For what it's worth, and I'm no expert, you know, I'm a human being too. I don't have any training in clinical psychology or anything. But a tool I found useful. Good pep talk for yourself. Look at something you've done and do a heck yeah kind of a thing. You want me to do this? Oof. Oof, that, yeah, that. Oop. Still, oop. Still dealing with fallout from your vocational discernment. Feel like made the right decision vis-a-vis a specific community, but your spiritual life fell out sort since then. Oof, that's, yeah. I hope you find the right path back forward and what you need to live and move and have your being in the midst of that. The solidarity is helpful. That's good. That's what it's there for. Let's go. Solidarity. I think everyone should have a hype man. As someone who follows you around is like, yeah, you got this. Just stuff like that. Maybe I watch too much wrestling. What if my hype man is Meep? Then you're gonna get a lot of positive vibes and not a lot of thought. Your cousin was hype man Burger King commercial? Okay. I'm glad we can help each other out too, as Mind. I'm glad that we have spaces online like this. I know mine's not unique. We're the only one available, but I'm happy to be a part of the journey and the space. No thoughts, only Meep. Meep will smile upon you no matter what you are up to. Those right now. I need those in the nether. I guess I need that right now. Let's go chop some trees. Wait, this is Beaker. I dressed up as Beaker once for a parish event. Need a little Meep to sit with me at my desk. I don't know if I have Lush on the merchandise future, but... And even though Junie has given me full rights over my Meep Morp, I'd feel like I'd want to repay her / give her some royalties on that. Not saying that's a bad thing, I'm just saying, like, if it were to ever grow, I'd be like, the laborer deserves their wages. Turn out flat Stanley style. There you go. Make all of those into stairs. Let's grab these other stairs. Let's make the rest of this into planks. Or slabs, I should say. So I think the swimming pool's gonna go, like, here, like, half underneath this portion. Hey, Joshua, good to see ya. Stole question. Do you guys wash your souls, dry clean, hand wash spots? What method? Generally dry clean for all vestments. If it's something small, you could do a little spot cleaning, but usually dry clean. I'm doing all right, and yourself? Guess I'm doing more than all right. I had a pretty good day. You're all right? Eh, sometimes that's all we can be, and that's okay. Is not where I want that. It was a very Midwestern. Oh. I was watching the fabric marker off piece last night and wanted to. And the fabric bleeds color real bad. Yeah, stoles are something that get washed a ton. It's kind of the benefit of, like, an alb is it serves as a base layer. And so it kind of protects a lot of the outer vestments. You'll see actually sometimes, this is where, like, you'll have, like, a lace trim around a stole around the back portion of the neck. And that is literally just, like, basically a built-in sweat cloth. So you can, when it gets too bad, you can take it off, wash it, sew it back on, or just replace it. Almost done with Dark Souls. Hey, let's go. I believe in you. Dodge roll your way to victory. Is the gold part that was bleeding, turning the water yellow? No, I believe it. I mean, when it comes to liturgical cloth stuff, I expect everything to bleed, but in ways you never expect. I have a Christian friend on Twitch who I'm going to start playing WoW with. Ooh, well, have fun. I know even less about WoW than I do Dark Souls. For the Horde! I haven't played since 2018. Might start snowing. Snowing. I wish it would start snowing. No, start sowing. That's awesome. Look at that. Perfect amount. 10 out of 10. I'm actually gonna go get some scaffolding. Do that from above rather than below. I was hopeful I had left some, whatchamacallit, quartz in one of those. No such luck. Speaking of snow, what are the chances of snow, ice January and NYC might be able to get a weekend trip to work out in January? That is a great question. I don't know what this year's prediction is. It's always going to be just kind of cold and miserable that kind of time of year. But whether there is some snow to alleviate the sadness, I don't know. Because like last year, we got almost nothing. It didn't snow until like late February for the first time. It was very depressing. Because like, when it snows in December, it's beautiful, you know? Like, all the Christmas stuff in the city, it's magnificent. Only been there in April. I mean, April can have some surprise cold, but yeah, definitely chillier than that. Oh, come on, that sun is set. Let me go to bed early. Have the old man sleep. There we go. Okay, hopefully that's enough. Oh yeah, that's gonna be enough. Hey, Hope. Good to see ya. Rotda. I'll have you know, I not only celebrated one mass, I celebrated two masses today, and they were back to back. So it was a very curious choice of wording. I'd love to have a conversation with the person who chose it one day. That'll probably have to wait until heaven. But we are unprofitable servants. It's such a weird choice, unprofitable. It really should be more something, in my opinion, unworthy. And the reason for that is not a sense of self-deprecation or, groveling, but a reminder that, yeah, we are unworthy of God's love, and yet God chooses to love us nonetheless. And as such, because God has loved us, we are called to a certain way of life. We do not become, or should not become, Christian in order to try and advance ourselves in the world. Surprise! Minecraft, yep. Don't have as much time as I wanted today, and I want to give Spiritfarer the time it should have. So we're going to do that tomorrow instead, so we're moving Minecraft to today. So, good to see you, Trekkie. Remember hearing somewhere that God has a reckless love for us or something like that, and I like that. There's a song that I quite like that speaks of love in a way that resonates with me and my relationship to God, and it's kind of the chorus has, "How dare you love me like you've never known fear." And that sits in my mind a lot, because that's kind of how I feel about God loving me, because God has no fear, obviously. So it feels outlandish and ridiculous. It's called Home or Home to Me. I forget which. The Devil in the Deep Blue Sea is the artist. The female singer of said band also does some solo work. What is her name? Her solo work is phenomenal. I can see the album cover, and like the main song on it is called Narcissus. I think even the album is called Narcissus, if I remember correctly. I don't know for sure. Oh, it's bugging my brain. I would play it here, but I don't want the copyright police. And I'm not paying for the DJ license because of how that all works out, and would not work in my favor in the end as a general streamer. They tell you not to do that. Lizzie, no. Yes. Lizzie, no. Thank you. Lizzie, no. Lizzie, yes. Yeah, no. Lizzie knows solo stuff is great. Really dig Lizzie No. Janelle Monáe has some amazing concept albums are based around Metropolis, the old, like the silent movie. And they are very good. Grow, my oak. Grow. I need you. I need you to finish this swimming pool. I'm going to extend the swimming pool out by 1, maybe 2. We'll see. So I think I'm going to have the shallow end of the pool be back here, with the deep end this way. I think we're going to line it with blue concrete, but we need to go get some blue concrete to make that work. So while that's growing, let's go get some more. Let's put those away there. Let's see if we can't get some more gravel. Maybe even some more sand. Do I need more sand? No, I've got plenty of sand, so I'm gonna need more gravel. Blue dye. What if we have any left here in the basilica? Consarn it, Enderman! Quit bringing dirt into the church! Bad Enderman. Oh, we have a little bit of blue, but not a lot. Gonna let you live for now. Sculpt the back of this house before I forget. Because I don't like the corner just being right there. It's Minecraft! No, it's Minecraft, not your craft. Hey Mel, how you doing? Minecraft. Minecraft is work. Mine. We've hit upon a landmine of bad jokes. Hello, Orange. You special boy. Oh, hey, gravel. Oh, that's a lot of gravel. Yes, please. This is Minecraft, not Ninecraft. Wait. Oh no! My enchanted shovel is too good. It has... I think it's the fortune that's causing this. So I got a ton of gravel, or a ton of flint, but no gravel. I was wondering how I got to 64 gravels or flint so quickly. Not gonna lie, that's pretty painful. Fortune would do that. I thought Fortune favored the bold, though. So why is it hating on me? My notifications, they did not alert me. Oh no. Hey, hello Roxy, good to see you. It's probably because I didn't go live at the time that my schedule says I go live, so it probably was like, eh, we don't believe in those stinking notifications. Because Twitch is helpful. It's helping. I do sometimes get notified that you should be streaming when you aren't. Oh, uh-oh. Get ready for a week and a half of that in December. Because Twitch does not have a vacation mode, it turns out. So 99% of the solar's mass is in the sun. They must have let a breeze over the sun. But are they Catholic or Orthodox? Or do the have the Sun Priests figured out ecumenism and how to transcend barriers of theological and ecclesiological differences? Is the sun ecumenical? I sure hope so. It shines on everyone. Only clouds for the heretic. No. The clouds is about, by Aristophanes, is about Plato and Socrates. Aristophanes did not like Plato or Socrates. Dear blue flowers, where are you? We got a purple meep. Purple meep, can you say some prayers for me to find blue flowers? I know it's not a normative liturgical color, but you know. It's almost time. It is! It is almost Advent. One of my favorite seasons. I think it is my favorite season, actually. Say that like it's a fact on a trading card somewhere. Oh, it's La Lava. Can be for your golf card. I don't know if I have any ability to tell Peter what to put on the golf card. Advent is only number 3. Oh. Hello, this is Session Hotline. This is St. Anthony. What do you need help finding? Actually, can you transfer me to the Jude department? I'm a bit of a lost cause. Whoosh. Definitely lost my mind. St. Drogo, I can't get a date. That sucks, I'm sorry. Oh, you lost your mind? We can't help you. I'm going to send you over to St. Timothy. Please hold. Your call is important to us. You're number 3,478 in the prayer queue today. Do I have a Litra? Yes, I do. Now I don't have to cheat to fly. Although I do need a creeper farm to get more fireworks. It's a great Tumblr or Reddit post meme where it notes Protestants think they're praying to saints but asking for intercession is more like calling the saints and asking them for help. You yellow. There we go, that should be enough. I'm surprised the server doesn't hate me more as that loads into in the distance. There we go. It's probably still not enough, but it's a start. And the nice thing is, since this is going to be a swimming pool, I can just place the concrete powder and let it become solid that way. I do actually need to hollow out the sides here. That's where the concrete's ultimately going to go. But where does the jacuzzi go? Let's visualize that in our mind after we have the pool built. It's going to be attached to the pool and have a waterfall. It could. It just might. Where's the French Canadian say? Where does Jacques go? In court, I believe. But I'm not a lawyer, so. Use glazed terracotta for the pool bottom, or is that too loud? I think with a modernist house, it's gonna be too loud. But I like the way you're thinking. I like the cut of your jib. I like your funny words, Magic Man. Oh, sheep, you do not want to be in here. I don't jib. I'm a powder rider, not a park rat. I'm going to assume that means something to someone, but it's not me and not today. Yeah, I might do like a alternating pattern of like blue and white on the floor of concrete. Time to leave. Okay. Safe drive home. I won't take those out yet because I know that'll just cause it all to fall, so. Kind of hungry today. Wonder if that's any correlation with me not having lunch. Nah. Brown terracotta would be the closest to mid-century modern. That would be a good choice. Like glazed terracotta or just plain terracotta? Hey, squirrel. Is it nice to be home? Does your current place feel like home? My priests tend to move about once a year, so I can imagine many places feel like home. How about you? Yeah, no, this place definitely feels like home. I think it's helped by the fact that it's a place I know well already from having, constantly visit here, and I've lived here before. And now being here I haven't been here for over 2 years now. It's solidly home. The glazed variety. I will have to look into that. In fact, why don't we just... Okay. Put some of this away. This is just to look at it. Ooh, yeah, that... I think you're onto something there, Beer Fox. Do you care if I get us straight into a question with you? Not at all! I think you already did. Squirkadoo! You really want brownies? Dang it, Mel, now I want brownies. Of course, it doesn't take much to make me want a brownie. So the Feast of the Immaculate Conception is on Sunday this year. I know that some dioceses move the Holy Day portion of it to Monday, but remove the Mass obligation. If that were the case, are we ideally supposed to take off on that day, and how does that work? Asking because I need to know whether or not I should take PTO off on it. I mean, ultimately the decision as to whether or not to take PTO off on it is going to be a decision of your conscience. I think there is a case to be made that is a great way to honor the feasts and to follow that commandment of like resting. Not everyone has that ability and that space, and so like that's totally fine. Yeah, if it's not actually a holy day of obligation, which actually it is this year because canon law is weird. Yeah, I think it's still a good thing. Like it's the patronal feast of our country, so I think it's inherently good to honor Mary and Christ in the Church and America by taking it as a day of rest. So. It would be really cool if you could do it as like a day of reflection or something, like a mini retreat. But you're also not under any obligation to take it to that extreme by any means. I just think that'd be a really cool thing to do. Is this a pool? It is! It will be. So the answer is, ideally, yes, take it off, as mainly because I can certainly take it off. That would mean I can't take Thursday the week before, which means I could take Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday off the week before, like I had hoped. But again, I'm trying to do right by the church. It sounds like you're saying take Monday off instead. I mean, I think it is an option, but like, I think also the reality is that, you know, God sees us trying and knows the constraints that we live in and goes, you know, I don't think God makes hoops for us to jump through. I think there's something to be said about the opportunity to, but, you know, also, life happens. And as long as you attend a mass, you are doing what you need to honor the holy day of obligation, so. I mean, it's not gonna hurt me to just work on Thursday and then skip Monday instead. Kind of a ho-hum thing. My feelings aren't hurt if that's what the church wants to do. That's fair. But yeah, I think within the church, it's kind of... The church has a lot of room for, well, this is the ideal, but also normal life happens. Yeah, that's an interesting question, though. It's one I think I might have to think further on. So I'm going to be on the radio show tonight of Busted Halo, talking about Doxicon. But I realized I could also just talk about my stream for a moment and say, yeah, played Stump the Priest with a squirrel. I love the internet. Huh? Huh to what? Sorry, Brain Frog. I didn't understand the thing you just said. Oh, I was just making a joke about that I could describe my interaction on my stream today as playing Stump the Priest with a squirrel. Because I'm going to be on the Busted Halo radio show tonight. Okay, so how do we make terracotta again? I don't remember. Crafter, what is this thing? They update and add these blocks and I never look at them. Okay, so... I do not remember how I make terracotta. I think I'm missing an ingredient from my just general inventory. Is it clay? Have I not collected any clay in this game yet? Or in this instance? Ah. Yes, that's what I was missing. So now I have regular terracotta. So I think now I can dye it. Ah, yes, okay. And then I can dye that, and then I can make it. So we're gonna need brown dye. I feel like I got brown dye somewhere just randomly. Well, time to get more clay. Of course, if my coworker here, she might say, "Why are you digging at my husband?" Because her husband's name is Clay. Truly only the finest of comedy here. In relation to, here's the intention. We understand that there are exceptions due to your anemia. My priest and I talked about not doing the no meat on Friday thing anymore, but it turns out I wasn't getting enough any more iron in me anyways, even when I was doing meat on Fridays. It wasn't sufficient for the amount that I was losing, had supplements. So back to not eating meat on Friday. Ah, okay. She dug him first, though. Fair enough. He is an Emmy award-winning reporter, so he's got that going for him. But yeah, Scroll, that is a great example of intention and exceptions. I'm glad your priest could work with you on that. So he takes the scoops. Well, he's a weather reporter. So I don't know how many scoops he's really getting. He's not a meteorologist, but he is a weather reporter. Apparently there is a difference. gonna have to go into the nether to get more quartz. I don't feel like doing that today. Oh, I was gonna look for brown dye. Not gonna lie, chat, I'm a little cooked today. Shout out to Father Jason. He's not your church anymore, but he was when I started getting into the faith, he was the only one I felt comfortable actually sitting in his office and talking about steps of getting back into the faith in earnest. A shout out to Father Jason. He sounds like a cool dude. I know a Father Jason. He's a TOR. He's a cool dude too. One is public facing, one is a scientist. You can be both. There we go, there's some brown dye. It's true, you can be both. Or you can also just be one or the other. I was just surprised to learn that, because talking to him, I'm like, oh, so you're a meteorologist? He's like, no. Oh, okay. Yeah, he does more of the puts on his waders and stands in the middle of waist-high water kind of reporting. And he has a rule I really like. Because I was asking, I met him at some function that we were having, and I was asking him about his work, about awards, because he had just won his I think 6th Emmy. Just casually having 6 Emmys. And I know he does a lot of disaster reporting. So I was like, was it one of those stories? He's like, no, I don't. When it comes to awards and submitting things, I never submit a story that is about someone else's loss. Like, he has this very strong personal rule. Against basically using someone else's loss. And I don't even say using, but like letting someone else's loss become his personal gain. So he never applies those ones to the awards. And I like that. I think that's a good rule. Gravel. Problem is, I don't want to use my shovel on it and wind up with a bunch of flint instead. Beer Fox, I want you to know that I still think that this is a good idea. I also want you to know it's time consuming. Have I ever used subjects talked about on stream for anything else related to my ministry? A homily, podcast, etc. never like specifically, like it's never like I've never used in a homily like, hey, this viewer in my chat raised this question. Yeah, now I'm trying to think. Oh, that's gonna hurt. It's not even. Doesn't look anything off the top of your head. This is true. Oh no, we're leaving it. We're leaving it, Twitch chat. I think it's funnier. In fact, we might actually even be able to lean into it. What if I... Because, like, you can stack the terracotta into a... I guess tessellation would be the right word? Yeah, I don't mind that, actually. You'll have to make it one wire. I don't think so. I think we found the workaround. Because then we get Pokeballs. Pokemon are worth it. Speaking of Pokemon and Pokemon-related things, how goes card collecting in TCG Shop Sim? Need to get back into it. You say that like it's a job. Which in some ways I guess it is. Self-soothing with Okami again. That is valid and a good choice. I got stuck in the fast swim mode for a moment. think I got all of that. Makes a fun zigzag pattern there. We could probably actually move this into the house. It's, you know, it's a house. So what I'm thinking is, like, little sitting area right here in front. Dining nook, and then kitchen. Then up here will be the bedroom. Probably put in some bookshelves or something. Look at this, you could dive from the second floor right into the swimming pool. You might break your legs, but you might not. Oh, I'm out of brown dye. Okay, well, there are some jungles nearby. So let's go to a jungle and let's, because it's cocoa that makes brown dye, I believe. Yep, I was right. That should be enough. I don't think we need much because one piece of dye colors 8. get that cooking. Love watching a sunset over this church. Oh, that's not gonna work. I guess I could just make an iron shovel. Just a sacrificial shovel. Because I don't think I need much more, because I just need to complete the one wall. This still will not be enough. That's close. That's 12. So we'll need 8 more pieces of gravel and 2 more pieces of blue dye. Hopefully I can find some blue flowers. I've kind of been plucking a lot of them. Stupid Enderman. I see blue. I need to put on braking on this Elytra. It has mending, which is good, but already it's almost to the point of breaking. Fortunately, Elytra does not disappear when it breaks, unlike other tools. It would be so depressing if Elytra was just like, poof! Okay. All right. That is the walls of the pool. Done. Done. So now when we fill this with water for the first time, it will, all of this will automatically harden. We've got the terracotta flooring. Thank you, Beer Fox, for that suggestion. It looks very sharp. And we finished 90% of the upper level today. We still have to do the trim around the top here of the actual quartz, but I'm out of quartz. It's giving me 90s rug vibes, honestly. I don't hate it, but... But I think that's where we're going to call it today. A little bit of a shorter episode, I know. I apologize for that. Movie was way longer than I expected. So I thought I'd be back at 3. Nope. It's an hour longer than that. But anyway. Oh, always a good view. Yeah, so yeah. Anyway, brain not braining. But yeah, I think that's a good place to call it. So thanks so much for tuning in to Let Us Play. I've been your host, Father Evan. It's been good to be with y'all today. Join us again tomorrow. We're not going to do midweek Minecraft tomorrow because we did Minecraft today. We're going to do the Spiritfarer thing tomorrow. We're going to try and finish it off, so it might go long. We'll see. We're going to play it by ear. Who knows? We may not even get close to finishing it. This game may be longer than I expect, like the movie I went to. And then Thursday, more Super Metroid. Then next week, back to Chrono Trigger, and we'll see about Spirituality Tuesday. But thanks so much, everyone who's tuned in, liked, followed, subscribed, checked out the YouTube, checked out the Discord, all that good jazz. And I hope everyone has a great rest of their day, and let's see who's live to raid into. Mel, are you planning on going live in like the next 30 seconds? Because I saw you went live after I had raided away yesterday. Minecraft is gone. Now has a phone version, which is a problem. That is a problem. That's what happens when you take a work call. Stupid work calls. Well, I'm actually not seeing a whole lot of folks live right now, which is weird, but, so no raid today. So I hope to see y'all again tomorrow. Take care, and God bless.